Gavin Bryers, The Sinking of the Titanic, and Jesus' Blood Never Failed Me Yet. Gavin Bryers is a British minimalist composer and jazz double bass player. Back in the 90s I heard a programme on Radio 4 about the use of technology in modern classical music. There was the usual stuff about Steve Reich and his tape recorders and Karl-Heinz Stockhausen and his Hoovers and helicopters. There was also a piece about Gavin Bryers with his use of taped sounds and spoken pieces. At the time, samples were becoming a big thing in popular and dance music, though the use of the kind of material Bryers was employing in his classical works were not that dissimilar to that used by Frank Zappa on his Only In It For The Money and Lumpy Gravy albums. The music on Sinking of the Titanic is minimalist. It is like a classical scoring of the kind of guitar droning used by post-rock bands like Godspeed Ye Black Emperor and Mogwai. It has that post-rock thing of repeating a chord sequence, with intensity being the only variation. The Sinking of the Titanic is performed by a small ensemble of strings, brass, woodwind and guitar. There are samples of spoken pieces relating to the subject matter, and extracts of some of the music that was said to have been played as it sank. Not just the hymn Nearer My God to Thee, but other hymns and ragtime tunes. There is also Morse code and woodblocks that sound like bubbles. The sound of the musical ensemble is treated to make it sound as though it is going through the process of being submerged. It was first recorded by Brian Eno and was released on his Specialist Modern Classical label. The second track is performed by the same kind of ensemble along with keyboards, one of which is played by Bryers' fellow modern composer Michael Nyman. The whole track is performed to a loop of an old homeless man singing the line, "Jesus' blood never failed me yet." The line came from a recording that Bryers was given. It was originally recorded for a documentary. It is a rough and probably inaccurate recollection of a gospel hymn. Bryers realised that though imperfect in its timing, the singing was in tune, and so he created a 13-bar accompaniment. It repeats for 25 minutes. I think it is probably the imperfect timing and the odd number of bars that allows you to keep hearing it over and over. It never really resolves. The end of the loop always wants to resolve to the start of the loop. Once you hear the loop, you will never forget it. It is haunting and moving, sad and beautiful. The sound of faith as the old man sings, "Just one thing I know, 'cause he loves me so. Jesus' blood never failed me yet." The score builds in intensity to a peak and then dies away. Gavin Bryers released a later version with Tom Waits singing along with the old man. This was nominated for a Mercury Prize in 1993. I don't have the whole album, but I do have a single-length version on a sampler CD that has all the nominated songs from that year. And that is enough. Sinking of the Titanic and Jesus' Blood Never Failed Me Yet by Gavin Bryers.